I'm back with another triggering topic. And this video is called The Scary Truth About Divesting. Now, before I get into it, let me say this. If you're easily offended by someone's opinion, you should click off this video ASAP. If divesting is a very touchy topic for you to talk about or to hear about, please click off this page immediately. Because this video is going to be straight, no chaser. And I'm going to tell y'all why I decided to make this video, because I do know that this space is pro-Black women, and that's what I want it to be, and it will always be that. It is Black women against the world, against everybody else, and that's how I'm always going to look at it. And we are oftentimes ignored and disrespected and silenced, and I want this space to be a space simply for us, and I hope it can be that. But I want to be clear about who I am and what I think about the collective of men. I think the collective of men are problematic, period. All men, all races, all ethnicities, period, point blank. So anytime you hear me talking, I mean all men. Y'all want me to keep it a buck? Y'all want me to keep it 100? I think about 70% of men cannot be trusted. 30% can. In my opinion, 70-30. But what's troubling to me is that anytime I post about the things that men do, I get bombarded with comments from Black women saying divest, and this problem will be solved. Now, if you're talking about divesting for men, period, then you may have a point. But if you are the type of divester that is on my page a lot, that feels like as long as you choose a white man, you're safe and protected, I have something to tell you. You're delusional. And it's really just that simple. And I say this because it was one woman that was really supporting my page, really nice, really kind. But we had I guess I would say like a discussion about divesting. And like she just lost it on me. And I was flabbergasted that she would be willing to attack a fellow Black woman on behalf of white men. And that really just made me be like, you know what? I'm going to make a video and really, hopefully debunk a lot of these false narratives that surround those particular types of divestors. And like I said, I just want to say you're delusional. And today I'm going to give you a reality check. And it's going to be rooted in fact, not feelings, not opinion, not me trying to protect Black men, as I'm always accused of when speaking on this topic, because I'm going to keep it a bug with you. I don't care if you want Black men or not. Black men be wildin'. I can't say that they don't. If I was single right now in this world, I wouldn't date any men. Definitely not no Black men, but definitely not no other races either. So, and if you really know me or any of my content, you would never dare think that I would ever argue on behalf of Black men. I say this all the time. I don't think Black women should defend anybody who doesn't defend them collectively. And by that, since no one collectively defends Black women but us, that means that the only people that I would ever argue on behalf of is us. But anyway, right now, this video is going to be about, or I guess this video is being made on behalf of women that have allowed their hatred of Black men to make them a target and an easy lick for other races of men. And I really feel some type of way about that, because I still love you, sister. I still love all Black women, period. Even if your experiences with Black men have caused you to go down a different type of road, because I understand. I really do. But I also need y'all to, even though you're upset, even though you may not want to mess with Black men no more, which is not a problem, but I would like you to understand that divesting on the basis of race will do nothing to protect Black women as a whole. So we got to talk about that. Now, in order to, I really feel like, be able to talk about it and to really understand, you've got to get an understanding of other cultures and their men. You have to listen to them. You can't listen to me. You know what I'm saying? Because these other races and cultures, they know their men just like black women know black men. So let's get into it.
I'm always going to tell you all men, regardless of race, are dangerous. I'm always going to tell you not to fall for thinking that just because one group of men is more likely to marry you makes them a better man. So on this episode, we are going to work on deconstructing whiteness and racism, and we're going to decenter whiteness. We are going to decenter whiteness. We are going to decenter whitey men, right? This imagery of whitey men being Prince Charming on top of a group of angry women of other races who want to promote whitey men as being better than their men out of spite, resentment, and anger and bitterness. All men are the same. Racism was created by whitey men. But let me explain why whitey men are way more dangerous. Whitey men know black women are angry with black men and use that to their advantage. Now, she explained to me why it didn't work out with the whitey men was because they would want to rush to commitment and she wasn't ready. That's a red flag. That's a red flag that someone is either a psychopath or a narcissist. Also, princess treatment is just love bombing. That's all it is. It means nothing. Rushing into commitment, red flag. Princess treatment is how they get you. YT men are either psychopathic or covert narcissists and malignant narcissists. If you would have committed to them, you would not be saying this. I promise you'd be singing a different tune. We don't just need to decenter males, but we also need to decenter whiteness. And she said true, because she can 100% clock a black man, just like I can 100% clock a YT man. My father, my brother, my grandpa, my sister's boyfriends, I'm YT. Just like you know your men, I know mine. They're very charming and well-spoken and intelligent, but they're psychopaths. Once they trap you, it's up and it's stuck for life. You're their slave. My dad was a provider. My mom didn't have to pay for anything or work. However, he broke her arm while she was pregnant. He didn't cook her clean. She was his slave for life. YT men do what it takes to get you, but they want you to marry them so you can't leave them. YT men win in divorce and family court every time. YT men win in divorce and family court. They'll take your kids. They essay kids more than any other demographic of male. This is statistically proven. They're most likely to essay children more than any other demographic. And you'll end up like Holly Berry if you try to leave. The same way black women are warning other women about black men, we white women are warning y'all about white men. And no one listens to us because white men control the media and have depicted us as Karens and untrustworthy when it's YT men who are actually the puppet masters behind this entire show. This entire circus. They're the ringleader. I did have a YT guy I was engaged to, and his family was racist and he cheated on me. And I had an Italian and Cuban ex, I think he's DL, and cheated with a YT woman. There's currently a family court crisis right now of YT women being silenced by abusive YT men who are taking custody of the children away from the mothers, and they just started acknowledging this recently. If you're a black woman, he can essay you, hurt you, unalive you, take your kids, and he's gonna get away with all of that. Because in America, black men don't get away with shit. But YT men are at the top of the pecking order in society. And there's another creator that said her YT baby father took her children from her, and that she was afraid to ever call the police on the YT man she was dating because she knew it would backfire on her and she would end up maybe being unalived by the police or whatever the case may be. So for the love of God, please stop saying YT men are better, because when you marry that YT man, I promise you're going to find out why they're the most dangerous ones of all.
What is one thing your ex did or a memory you have of them that will haunt you for the rest of your life? It doesn't have to be something that would be scary to everybody, but something that stuck with you. I'll go first. A few days after my therapist told me that I needed to leave because he was going to kill me one day, I told him about it so that he would realize how scary he was and hopefully change. He didn't say, oh, babe, I would never do that to you, or, deny it in any sort of way. He said, how do I fix that? As in, how does he fix the urge to want to kill me? So that fucked me up pretty bad. I still think about that pretty often. So I want somebody to one-up me. Tell me your story. Duet this or comment.
So here are comments from different races of women about their men underneath that post. And I don't want to exploit these survivors of DV, but they did post their experiences here on a public platform. So I assume that they want to help other women with their experiences. So here's the first comment. After mine almost strangled me to death, I calmly told him, you could have killed me, right? And he said, I wanted to. I left. Here's another one. My ex strangling me half to death because he miscounted my melatonin one night and thought I slipped him one so I could cheat while he slept. Another one. After his mom died, he put a picture of her on the nightstand by our bed to remind him not to hit me. It obviously did not work. Another one. That Russian roulette scene in Euphoria was a real life experience for me with my ex. Next one. Slept with a machete hanging on the wall above our heads and blocked the door so I couldn't go to the bathroom because he thought I'd sleep with his roommate. Another one. My ex burned my house down, stole all my mental health medication, and lit all the things my dad bought me before he died on fire. My ex punched his own eyes until they swelled shut so I wouldn't leave him. Mine choked me and gaslit me by telling me that he thought I liked it. We were fighting and he choked me out of anger. Now, if you see the response to that, for some reason, this one triggers the anger inside me. Then another response to that. Mine choked me out of anger and afterwards said, "Oh, so it's only okay when we're having X?" Let's move forward. He slashed my face and I stayed. I'm in the process of leaving. My ex told me to get over it the night my mom died because he wanted to go home and play Xbox. My ex-fiance tried to literally beat me to death after throwing my phone outside somewhere so I couldn't call for help. And I'll post a few more on the screen that you can pause to read here. And I just want to say this. The majority of these comments are from white tea women dating white tea men and also from Hispanic women dating Hispanic men. And I really want to make it clear, something that isn't really talked about a lot, but it is horrific, that there is serious domestic violence found in stable white tea families. So that means that the white tea men that you're looking for, that have money, that make a decent amount, that have a decent lifestyle, a lot of things are happening to those women. And also, if you didn't know, white tea women don't largely report DV, so we'll never get a full, accurate picture of DV anyway, from really anybody. Even though studies show that white tea women endure a lot of DV at the hands of white tea men who they are married to and who they partner with, the majority of the time they are with white tea men. So I'm asking you guys, if these men will do that to their women, what do you think they will do to you? Especially when we already know the way the majority of white tea people view black people. We can't debate that. And I don't even have to tell you that black women are at risk for domestic violence and femicide at the hands of black men. Also, black women are 6 times more likely to be unalived than white tea women. We are being abused, raped, unalived, and trafficked by black men. And most of the time, I see any type of violence happening to a black woman. Most of the time, it's the men in our community because we still, for the most part, choose specifically black men. But I want to let you know by exposing what is going on in the white tea community that just because you feel like you can get away from that because of what is happening with us and our interchange with black men, the same thing is happening with white tea women and white tea men. So the only difference is that we are choosing black men still the most. White tea women are still choosing white tea men the most. So we are experiencing these things at their hands. But once you switch communities, these same things happen. The same stats just occur in whatever place that you're choosing. You get what I'm saying? Like white tea women are being abused by black men when they step over to our side. Black women are being abused by white tea men when they step over to their side. And all of these things, all you have to do, you don't have to believe me. You can just look it up. You can go to domestic violence websites where you can look at the experiences, the real life experiences of black women that have been involved in interracial relationships, or white tea women that have been involved in interracial relationships, or Asian women or Hispanic women. The list goes on and on and on and on. But I want to keep it going. All right. Now, it also says that about 1 in 3 Latinas will experience intimate partner violence during her lifetime. Violence against women in Mexico has risen to over 70%. In Colombia, domestic violence is the second most reported crime in the country. Femicide rates there are out of control. So now we've addressed white tea men, black men, and Hispanic men. There's got to be somewhere for us to go safely and engage with these men, right? Well, 55% of Asian women in the U.S. report experiencing physical or actual violence in their lifetimes. And once again, these numbers usually are higher But due to shame and fear with women reporting, the numbers you can't get an accurate picture. Now, what about the Middle East? I really think that we already know that in the Middle East, intimate partner violence is not only pervasive, but also widely acceptable. Women continue to face entrenched discrimination, daily violence, honor killings, and other forms of gender-based violence. We have accounts of Iraqi and Syrian women ensnared in human trafficking. Even in Lebanon, Jordan, Egypt, Palestine, Gaza, and other places, women there are still enduring honor killings as well and untold horrors. You even have a law that the Taliban has ordered that Afghan women cannot speak in public. They cannot sing, read, or laugh outside their homes. They also have to cover their faces and bodies entirely. And then they must speak soft enough that they cannot be heard even in their homes. The women in India suffer domestic abuse and dowry killings. The stats on rape there are completely insane. And this is in 2018. There was a rape every 15 minutes. But they said that it's increased by at least 20%, even though they don't have a lot of data available. Well, what about Africa? Because oftentimes speaking with African women, they'll tell you like, oh no, not our men. Our men are different. But that's a lie. At least 51% of African women report being beaten by their husbands. And it is looked at as justified if they either go somewhere without permission, neglect the children, argue back, refuse to have X, or burn the food. And if we look at this Ugandan study, 95% of all women and girls in the country have experienced physical or sexual violence at some point. And the stats are pretty much the same across the majority of the countries in Africa. I just didn't feel like going into that much detail, but if you need me to, I can. So this is what I'm saying. All of these different races of men abusing the women in their respective communities, or other races of women if they have the ability to, if those women go outside to deal with them. So my thing is this: do you really think that skin color is the real issue? Look at the screen, okay? Look at the screen grabs that I'm showing you. Do you think that choosing the white T-man is going to save you? Honestly. And I mentioned the white T-man only because that is the man that is usually mentioned. And that's the reason why I decided also to include basically all races of men in here so that you can get a clear picture of what's going on. But I want y'all to know something, because when I try to talk about this and I try to talk about the insanity of divesting because of skin color, not if you're saying you're a woman and you're divesting from men at all, you're discerning men, you're not having anything to deal with men. That's not what I'm talking about. But the divestors that paint this beautiful fairy tale picture of white men, I'm telling you, I want y'all to understand this. I am not making this video to protect black men. Because every time I try to speak about this, I get called a black male worshiper. And let me make this clear. I am not a black male worshiper. That is not my objective. Like, it's really not. I could care less if you talk to black men. Like, I really don't care. But my objective is this. You cannot allow your disappointment, disgust, and maybe even hatred towards black men to cloud your judgment. As I said before, I'm not here to tell you how to feel about black men, because I understand it. I wish that people would understand, black women would understand how deeply I understand it. I have been deeply wounded and harmed and hurt at the hands of black men. And I understand that the collective of black men have dropped the ball in their treatment of us, and also how they navigated in this world. They have allowed everyone to come in and overstep. These black men have destroyed our culture and our neighborhoods. They attack each other. They attack us. And so now black men are even afraid of each other. There's no accountability. There's no checking going on. All it is throwing everything on us because they are too weak, too passive to take advantage of their so-called privilege as being men and stand up and pull their pants up and stop being bent over by the white T-man. I understand that. I get it. I really do. I totally understand it. And I feel the exact same way about the collective of black men. I do. I get it. But allowing that feeling to make you pretend that the white T-man is your best option, that he is going to treat you like a princess and he's going to do this and that and this and that when his own women are telling you that that is not the truth, that's insane. That's insane. That's just like somebody trying to tell us about black men, like, oh no, black men gonna do this and do that. And then what do we tell them? Oh, you get the same black man. That's what you get. You get the same black man. The preference to baby mama pipeline and all of the other things that I do, right? We know that they're getting the same black man. But for some reason, black women are unwilling to listen to these other races of women that are telling us the same thing. Hey, you're going to get the same white T-man that I was getting that was knocking my head between the washer and dryer, that was cheating on me, that was white T-men have the highest, rates of SA, the highest rates of SAing children, and et cetera, et cetera. So I don't understand how we can't acknowledge that these women know the men in their community too. And this just doesn't apply to white T-men. It applies to Hispanic men. It applies to Asian men. It applies to Indian men. It applies to everybody. All of these races of men, truthfully. And I just want y'all to know that really allowing the feeling of disappointment and, hatred and, you wanting to be able to tell the black man, look, you ain't do this. You ain't do this for us, but look, I got another man that can, which I understand wanting to do that. I really do. But allowing you wanting to do that, even though you don't have the ability, you can't do it because the white T-man will never be our protector. You pretending that he's our best option when he is potentially just as bad, if you listen to the women in their community, it's not smart. And I'm telling you, the only thing it will do for you is allow you to be manipulated. It will allow you to overlook things because you think, oh, well, I'll just let him do this because at least he's not a black man. And where are we going with that thought process? Because that man could be the same or even worse. Like, we can't just look at every man of another race as a Prince Charming. Because, as I'm saying, I really want you guys to understand this. Divesting will not stop this issue with men. And if you think it will, the type of divesting where you're saying you eliminate men based on color, it will never work for you. It will never work for you because the same men that you're saying treat you so well and they treat you so much better, their women are not saying that. They're not. They're looking at you like you get what I'm saying. They're looking at you the same way we looked at Sin Santana. When Sin Santana said, oh, you know what? Oh, black men treat me like a princess. Black men they really love Latinas. And then she was sitting there as a baby mama and we all looked at her like, we knew that was going to happen to you. Oh, Erica Mena. Oh, we knew that was going to happen to you. Oh, Danny Lay. Oh, yeah, we knew. It's the same thing here. So I just want you to know that this is a male issue. It is a man problem. Now, I will say this. I've said it 1,000,001 times. I think that this type of behavior regarding men, and I do think that different races of men have different issues where they do different things to harm women. They all have it, but different races do different things. I will say that. You know what I mean? But I do think that this abuse, mistreatment, not treating women the way they're supposed to, that is present in at least, and I'm being nice with it, it's present in at least 70% of men. So, 70% is the majority. I think the majority of men are like this and have the capability to do this and will do this if they haven't already put in the right circumstances. Now, I said already that, black men, they have their own unique issues, like tap dancing, being sellouts, not defending or protecting their women publicly, which they do not do. But the majority of women are going through the same things, just more privately than we are. And their men may have more money. All right. Now, I got to keep it real on that. They may have more money. But that's all I'm saying. And I will keep making these videos until I get through to someone. Because I do feel like The fact that black women are looking for a savior, not all black women, but a lot of black women are looking for a savior and looking for somebody to be like, aha, black man, this, that, and the other. Or they're thinking, oh, because this man is a certain race, that everything is going to be sweet. I really do think that sets black women up to be taken advantage of in the worst way. Like, I'm in this like nightmare dating profile group, and the things that I've been seeing that whitey men say to black women on these dating profiles is so disgusting and out of pocket. And I really do believe it's because now black women have given them like a little bit of, oh, like we might like you, or we might want to talk to y'all because we done with these Negroes. They're getting out of pocket, and I don't like to see it. Maybe I'll do a series on that so that y'all can see what I'm talking about. But I just hope that y'all get through to it, because I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. Because honestly, when I tried to talk about this before, sometimes when black women comment, it does hurt my feelings, because this whole page, this whole platform of mine is really dedicated to y'all. It's really done. It's a labor of love for you guys. And I think this lady was like, oh yeah, her love of black men, her protection of black men or something shines through in the words that she's saying. And I was flabbergasted. Not only were my flabbergasted, but I was disgusted that she would even think that, because that's not my motivation. My motivation is only to protect black women. I could care less what y'all really think about them. I could care less. I don't even think black men are about nothing as a whole. I don't. But see, the difference is that I don't think men in general are worth anything as a whole. In general, I'm talking about if 30% I feel like may be okay. And I feel like that's me giving men a lot of grace, because I could go down to 20. But I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be reasonable. So anyway, you guys, if you watch this whole video, I really do appreciate you. You're a real one. Hopefully, you understand truly what I'm saying. And my motivation is only to help. Because at the end of the day, I do not care who you choose. I do not care who you marry. Go where you are loved. Go where you are appreciated. If you find a man that's not giving you no red flags, he is giving you all green flags, he is treating you like a princess, he has never did anything to you, you you background checked him, he's vetted, you know for a fact that he's a decent human being, you've done all of the things that you need to do your due diligence to make sure that this man is on point, sister, go for it. No matter what color he is, absolutely do that. That is not my goal. Ain't nobody trying to keep y'all with Pookies and Ray Rays. Like, now, if you can find a black man that's great, cool. If you can find an Asian man that's great, cool. If you can find a white man that's great, cool. Whoever you can find, cool. I just want you to live in reality and understand that the majority of men, they leave something to be desired. Now, I would say this is, I was about to say something else, but it may be controversial, so I might say it on the live one day. But anyway, like I said, I digress. I got to get back into it. I digress, y'all. If you enjoyed this video and you watched it all, I'm telling you, you are a real one, and I so thoroughly appreciate you. Please do me a favor and drop a 44 in the comments to let me know you watched this whole long video and you enjoyed it. And also, if you cannot donate to my Cash App above to help support the channel, that's no problem at all. Just do your girl a free favor. It won't cost you nothing. It's free 99. I know times are hard out here. Just do another thing to support your girl. Hit the like button for me. Drop a comment. Follow me on TikTok. Subscribe to me on YouTube and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my new uploads. And as always, ladies, please drop your thoughts, comments, and feelings down below.